Okay, hi there. Just having trouble getting connected. All right, almost there. I got disconnected again. Are you guys seeing me? Okay, I see there's some people here, but I'm not having a uh, video, uh, the video part. So try this again. Okay, let's see. Well, hello, Teresa, Melody, Amy, Mary, Gina. Okay, Carol. Hey. Okay, so you guys see me okay now? Good. Um, I don't know what happened. It's Facebook. What can I say? Anyway, today is part two of the trinket dishes, the air dry clay trinket dishes. This part is on decoupage and a couple other things. So, hey Gwen, hi Donna. Yeah, I don't know what's with the internet, but sometimes it's great. Well, I wouldn't say it's always it's great, but it's usually pretty good. But sometimes there are issues. So today we're going to do the second part of the air dry clay. I can't say it slow, let alone fast. Um, and we're going to focus on decoupage and that little picture frame that I did during the week. I'll show you how I did that. And then some other things about napkins, how you can use napkins and rice paper. These are things that are new to me as far as uh, doing decoupage, all that stuff. It's kind of a new thing. I did say last time, oh, for Pete's sake, um, that I did do a little decoupage like in the early 70s, but it was very minor and anything that I knew about it, I'd forgotten. So um, I'm just having kind of like fun with it, making little trinket dishes and stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff. But I'm going to put the camera down here and show you some of the things that I've made over the last couple of weeks. I still am very much a novice with decoupage. There's a lot more out there to learn. So, I'll be working on it. I've got an idea. I kind of want to make like a treasure chest box kind of thing, like for jewelry or little treasures. So I'll be working on that later. But these are some of the things that I did during the last 2 weeks. And this all started about, I don't know, a month or so ago, where I saw a reel that someone had made like a little six space, like a half of an egg carton, and they put clay over it, and then they decoupage these blue napkins on there. And I thought that was so cute. And uh, it said in the reel that they used Sculpey clay to mold the egg carton. Well, I tried that. I gave it 3 tries and then I threw it in the trash because I could not get the clay to go into the egg depressions um, without cracking it and having all kinds of difficulties. So I scrapped it. And I thought, well, I'll just make one of these bowls out of the same premise. So this is with a napkin, and I did both inside and out. And it's just a little dish. Like I said, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with any of this stuff, but I thought they were cute and wanted to share this with you. So this is one of them. This was another one that I did. The bunny is rice paper. If you don't know what that is, I'll explain that to you. I had never heard of it prior to a couple of weeks ago. So this was rice paper, and this was part of a napkin. And these are some of the flowers that I've been making. So that's one of them right there. I'm kind of into this bunny thing right now. So you've seen me post quite a few different bunnies on here, and it's just maybe a passing phase. I don't know, but I sure do like them. So then I just painted the back like a complementing color on there. Okay, and here's the same bunny, just a little bit of different thing here. And then I lined the edge with the gold gilding pen. And then I did a rooster, and I made a mistake on here. I don't think napkins come in ply, just like toilet paper and stuff like that. And I think most napkins are 2-ply and some are 3-ply. And I think I might have taken just 1 or 2 layers off. I think I missed it because this is too white in the back. So that's that. Oh no, that can't be. Now that I'm looking at it, this was a rice paper design. So I guess that's how it's supposed to be. But anyway, I thought it was kind of cute. It's a little trinket dish painted on the back as well. And then this was with Sculpey clay. This was a napkin. And I don't like the Sculpey clay for these little trinket dishes. It just feels too plasticky. It's more bendy where the air dry clay is not. So I don't, and it gets tacky. It feels tacky on the back. Even though I've sealed it, it still feels tacky. So I'd say Sculpey's a no for this, at least in my experience. And then this was just another napkin, little dish. Okay. Gina, I don't know, but you know what? We'll do that today. If I remind me if I forget, but let's try that because I was wondering about that myself. Um, but we can give that a go. And then this is just a little teeny trinket dish. Okay, so those are some of the things that I've done. Oh, this was another napkin. Some napkins are so beautiful, and I never really thought of them, um, as like art. I don't know. I mean, they definitely are, but I thought this was really pretty. My friend Mary gave me some napkins. I'll show you. This is one of them. Okay, so let's put these to the side. And what I want to do is I want to get started on the frame first. I'm kind of going out of sync, but I'm doing this because the paint has to dry. So I thought what I'd do is to kind of duplicate this frame. I need to paint this frame. I went to the dollar store and just got a cheap frame. And I want to paint this first. And then while we're doing other things, it gives this time to dry. So let's see here. All right, so I'm going to be using chalk paint, which is also another new thing for me. I'd never heard of it before. Well, maybe I did hear about it, but I didn't know what it was or what it did. But I bought this jar of Dixie Belle Chalk Mineral Paint in the color Cotton. And it's just, cotton is just a really white. And I'm going to use that. It adheres to just about anything. So that's why I'm using this. Although I would imagine that acrylic paint would work just as well. I don't know. I bought this and I'm going to use it. The only thing that I learned after I used it, because I didn't read the directions, it says to apply it with a damp brush, and I applied it with a dry brush. Still worked. I don't know what the difference was, but I guess I really should read instructions. For this, I'm going to use gloves only because my hands are going to get really dirty during this stuff. So, where are my gloves? I want to say it, but I'm not. So I'm just going to give the white paint a little mix, a little stir. Nothing crazy. Okay, and I'm going to dampen a brush. That's more than damp, that's wet. Okay. And let's see if I'm in the frame. This is not a big deal. This is just painting a frame. This might require 2 coats, though. We'll see. This frame has a little bit of a texture, like a wood texture, faux wood. It's just a plastic frame. But that's kind of a neat thing about decoupage, is that you can use like plastic type things and it won't look like it once you're done putting all your stuff on it. I want to get inside too. Like I said, it might need 2 coats. Let me put my eyes on here. It's kind of weird because I haven't done crafty type stuff in quite a while. I mean, I have been more lately on these demos, but my focus was pretty much on jewelry all the time for many years. So it feels a little odd to present all this stuff, but I got to tell you, I've been enjoying doing this. It's a nice change of pace. This is not anything special as far as what I'm doing here, just making sure that I've covered all the sides, anything that is going to show. And I probably will do the back as well, but I've got to give this a chance to dry. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to need 2 coats, so I'll have to get back to that in a little bit. And any touch up from where I'm very messily touching the frame. Okay. All right. So I'll set this aside for now. See what I was saying about my hands. This is just a little bit harder to wash off. It washes off, but it's a little bit thicker, I think, than normal paint. And I have all my flowers prepared already, so you don't have to watch me go through all of that. All right. Put that in some water. All right. So if you are watching and you didn't see the first part of the demo, um, you might want to look back and check that out. All right, let's see here. The name, hi Ray, by the way. This is Dixie Belle Chalk Mineral Paint in the color cotton, but you can use any chalk paint, as far as I know. I think they're probably pretty much the same. This was something that I learned about from a woman. I put a link to her um, YouTube videos. It's from Mason Creations on YouTube, and she does a lot of this sort of thing, and she knows all her products, um, what they do and what they're for, and that was under her advice to try this paint out. She also recommended two other varnishes, which is in lieu of using Mod Podge. You can certainly use Mod Podge. There's not a problem. This multi-surface lacquer does the same thing, but it clings to all kinds of different surfaces. Like if you wanted to paint on a metal tin or something like that, and um, you don't want the paint to chip off, so you put this down sort of like a primer, but it also acts as a decoupage glue too. And then there's another one called Heavy Duty Varnish. These are from Polyvine. They're made by Polyvine. That's the company. I have no links for them other than going to decoupagenapkins.com, which I'll put in the notes if you wanted to get this stuff. If you want to just try this stuff out without spending a lot of money, a regular bottle of Mod Podge is fine. This one happens to be dishwasher safe. I'm not going to put food in these, but and nor would I put them in the dishwasher. But for whatever reason, there must be some projects that people make that are going to go in the dishwasher, but that's not on my agenda. So that, and then there's also this I've had for a long time, and I like this actually better than Mod Podge. This is Royal Coat Decoupage Finish. It glues and seals, and it's a satin finish. I just like it. I like the way it goes on better. Okay, so what else? There's a lot else. Okay, I'll talk about the paper products, such as napkins and rice paper. And I'll bring the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. These are napkins that my friend Mary gave me, these two right here. And I just think they're beautiful. I'm going to use a section of this one today in what I'm making. But this is the one that I used, just a small section for this little dish. I thought this was really pretty. So she gave me some of those. And then my friend Rhonda gave me a bunch too. They just have such pretty artwork on them that are completely usable for lots of different things. These were the blue napkins. I believe I got these on Amazon that I used for that one bowl. And the thing with napkins, here's another one, that you can just cut parts and pieces off to incorporate in whatever you want to do. This is an Easter one that you could make. This particular napkin has 4 different motifs on here. So that's kind of pretty. Like I said, you can cut different parts off. And let's see. I really like these a lot. I bought these off of Amazon too. Now, when I put Mod Podge on top of this, they kind of bled, and it just looked kind of pink. It made the paper pink, like it bled out, which is kind of weird. I don't know. I haven't had that happen with any of the other napkins that I bought, but it did on these. So I was kind of surprised. But then I did try it with a different product. I think it was with that royal coat. I tried that and it did not bleed. So maybe it was just the formulation of the Mod Podge with that particular paper. Now on the napkins, let's see here. When you look at your napkins, there is this tissue that's you need to peel off, and some, like I said, some are 2-ply and some are 3-ply. So you may find, I mean, whoever even thought of this, you know, I would have never thought about that there was another layer attached to this. But you would peel this off, and this obviously is a 2-ply napkin, but some of them are 3, so you'll have 2 pieces of this tissue paper that come off. So you want to have those off so that way your designs are more translucent, and to have like a white background on your dish, whatever you're going to be putting this on, it'll show through better. So this is a 2-ply napkin. Now there must be some use for this tissue paper at some point, but I have no idea. So I've saved a little bit of it, but I'm not going to save every piece of it. But there might be some good use for it in the future for future projects. Now this is rice paper. Let me get this napkins out of the way here. So this is rice paper, and like I said, I had no idea of its existence prior to this little rabbit hole that I've gotten myself into again. They're just sheets of rice paper that are printed on, and this is rather fibrous. If you can see here where I've torn off the edges, there's like a little fiber in the paper, and this is a whole nother adventure with all the designs that are available. Like I said, here's my rabbit addiction. I do not know what I'm going to do with all these guys, but I just thought they were so cute. I had to get doubles of this one. It's a sickness, I tell you. So, and then there's these other little farm animals, 2 pages of those. This is nothing. This is a bigger piece of rice paper that would be nice on a plaque or something large, or maybe on a piece of furniture, something like that. I just saw it, I liked it, so I got it, but I have no idea what I'll do with it. I will say that I bought a large one of yeah, I think it was 11 by 13 that I bought of a rabbit, and I framed it and put it in my bedroom because I thought it was so pretty that I thought, I'm not cutting this thing up. It's too cute the way it was. So it's sitting waiting or hanging in my bedroom, and that's where it's going to stay. Okay, so that's rice paper. And when you do decoupage, I'm told that you don't want to cut the paper, you want to tear the paper. So you use a brush, a paintbrush with water, or a specific water pen that dispenses the water. And I just happen to have one of those. This is a water pen. I bought this, I think, for when I was using colored pencil on something and I wanted to blend out. This has got a little brush tip on the end, and this cartridge fills with water. You just put it in tap water, fill it up with that, and I will show you how it's done. And then in a couple minutes, I'm going to give this frame another coat because I don't want to forget about that. All right, I have to organize all this stuff. Another thing, before I forget, with the air dried clay, you can get molds, and I don't have them on the table right here, but you can get molds like this, these silicone molds that have flourishes on them, like to make things like this, that you can make. This is a resin that this was an experiment. My friend Rhonda was over and we were trying to make the flourishes with the resin, but the best thing to do is to use it with the air dried clay. If you can see that this is the air dried clay right here. And that's another one. And you can put these around your frame. You can, like make little corners and or put it on the top, something like that. I know this is the back, but you could put these little designs on things, on jars of stuff that you're creating, but you would do it. This is how you do it. You would put your air dry clay in your mold, like you make your flowers and stuff, and then you put these in the freezer for like 20 minutes. Then you take it out, and the clay is just cold enough that you can pop those out without breaking them. And you need to make them while you're making it. You glue it right on the jar and let it dry, and then all those little flourishes stick to that. And if you look this stuff up, like on YouTube or Pinterest or whatever, you can get lots of really great ideas how to use these things. But I just love these. The detail in them is really nice. If you are neat about putting your clay and then scraping the excess off while it's still wet, you won't have hardly any cleanup, because this would get very tedious to go in between all these little lines. But if you do it like the freezer method, it comes out pretty clean, and then you just apply it right to your jars. Okay. All right, so I didn't want to miss telling you about that, because even like this little corner piece, this would be really pretty, really would decorate a jar or a frame. Lots of stuff. It's like a whole new world opens up for all these things. Okay, so let me move a few things here, because I can't create without making a big gigantic mess. It's just how it is. That's how it is in my world. All right, move these things over where it's easy. Well, maybe I'll just move the camera. That might be even easier. Okay, I've got all my little flowers over here, ready for the project. And I also have a bunch of trinket dishes and little flat dishes that I had made up ahead. I did try, now last time I did the demo, someone asked if you could do a double-sided impression, and you can. I did show on the demo last time that it could be done. But I wanted to have little dishes with the imprint on the back. So the main side that I'm going to decoupage is plain and flat, but the back sides have a little bit of decoration on there. So I thought that was kind of cool too. All right, so, and then I've got some flat little dishes or plaques or whatever you want to do. And Gina, I'm sure you asked about drilling a hole in them because it might be nice to be able to hang these like with some ribbon or something like that. So there's that possibility. Okay, let me check here. Oh, you know what? I don't have. I'm not sure how I would. I'd have to get up from here to try drilling the hole, but I will try that at some point. Okay, so what I had thought about, and I already gave this a coat of the chalk paint, I had thought about doing this flower and this goose, and I need to take the goose off of this rice paper, and I'm not sure. I mean, I just made a straight cut to get one of the other ones off, but I still used the water brush to disconnect the image. So I'm just tracing this. I have a handout with all this stuff in it too, so I tried to make it as explanatory as possible. But see, you just tear this. They say a torn edge looks much better than a cut edge when you're decoupaging. So I'm going with their theory on that. And I do like it, but the first time that I experimented with this, I put it on plain paper or on a plain background, and then I decided I wanted some color on the background. Now, what they suggest is that you put your image on a white background so you see your image more clearly and more true than if you had, say, if you colored this purple on the background, your image is not going to be as nice and bright as it would be if it was on a white background. Now, I could trim a little bit more away. But what I was my point was, I decided I wanted to add a little color to the back of it after the image was placed. And when I did that, the paint, the fibers in this rice paper just sucked up that paint, and it gave a kind of a yucky color to the whole thing. So I would say lay down your paint first if you want that, and then attach your art, your image. Now, you may have done some decoupaging, and maybe I'm saying something wrong. It's because I haven't done it enough to correct any mistakes that I may be talking about. I'm not really sure. So I would say just experiment with something that, like if you had an image that you really, really wanted, but you were afraid you only had the one and you didn't want to screw it up, I would say practice on something else first till you're confident what you're doing, just so that doesn't happen. So what I'd like to do on this guy is I do want to put a little bit of color in here. And what I'm going to use is a sponge, a natural sponge. And let's see, what kind of paint do I want? I guess I'm going to want just some acrylic paint. I could use watercolor, but I'm just going to use a little bit of, I could be sorry of doing this, I'm not really sure. And I'm just going to pounce that around because I don't want a lot, I just want a little bit. I think that's going to be enough. You see, I just use this natural sea sponge and put a little, maybe it's a little bit too wet. I don't know. A lot of this stuff is kind of spontaneous that I do, so sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Just a little bit. Okay. So that's all of that I'm going to do. Okay. All right. That won't take too long to dry. And then in the meantime, I'm going to disconnect my flowers. This napkin still has the 2 plies, but I'll take that off after it's wet. And you can use a paintbrush with water if you don't have one of these water brushes. You don't have to have all the toys. I seem to be a collector of all the toys, but it's not always necessary. It should be down a little bit lower, I think. And you get lots of little bits of paper all over the place. Okay, if I take this guy off here, it'll fit a little bit better. All right, and I'm going to take that other layer off. very carefully. And then I might want to put a flower or two. This is all kind of just deciding, kind of spur of the moment. But you don't have to do that. You can plan yours out a little bit better. And hopefully it will all work out. And you'll have a masterpiece. Sometimes you can put too much on here too, so I'm afraid I don't want to do that. I don't like that edge. It looks like it was just cut off, because it was. Maybe something like that. I might have too much overhang. Anyway, okay, this is dry. So I'm going to apply some of the lacquer. Do one thing at a time here. Okay. Another thing that I learned was when you're laying this down, you should take a piece of saran wrap or a baggie and press your image on the press the image with this plastic wrap on your fingers, and it removes wrinkles. Better than if you were just rubbing it with your bare fingers. And if you go over the edge a little bit, that's okay. We'll sand that part off. Okay, so that's laid down. No wrinkles. Now, Mr. Goose will be added. I can go over this piece that I laid down already too with the coat. Hold it down. Rub that with the plastic wrap. Okay, and now I think I'm just going to add this little one here instead of this larger. Yeah, I think I'll go with the littler one. Just take off this edge here. Don't need all the extra little bits of paper around there. And I think one coat's enough. If you want to put two, it's okay. Um, Sometimes I have sprayed these with an acrylic, a matte acrylic sealer, and that looks nice too. Or satin, not matte. But that's Mr. Goosey. So, I mean, it's simple enough. It just depends on how much you want to put into it. Maybe some other flowers would be good too. I don't know. I don't think I took that second layer off of this small flower. Dang. Okay. Maybe I will put these guys on there. It's a little bit different. Yeah, I know I didn't peel the tissue off of the back of that one because I have a pea brain. Maybe that looks dumb. Yeah, that kind of does look dumb. Yeah, I don't think I like that. The flower was cut. That's why I didn't like that. Luckily, I was able to peel that off before it was on too long. But I would like a little more on there. Bear with me here, folks. My napkin again. I think I don't know. Those are the things that are hard to figure out sometimes. Sometimes less is more. Okay. I don't know. Well, I'll just leave it for now. It could, I could add it again if I wanted to. If I don't seal it, I could still add on there. But that's really all there is to. Yeah, Donna. Sometimes less is more. You know, it's like you can get things all muddied up if you put too much into it. Now I'm going to give that picture frame, I'm going to set this to the side to dry. I'm going to give the picture frame another coat because one coat definitely didn't do it. And, oh, and on this goose, then I would paint the backside the complementing color of acrylic on there. And then I would seal that as well. All right, so we're going to get the chalk paint back out. Give this another coat. Hopefully that'll do it. And then, like I said, I painted all my flowers white a little earlier today. And then I'll start to glue those on after this is dry. And I don't think this is going to get finished, but it will be enough that you can get the idea of how I did it. I mean, it's really pretty simple. But it's amazing. I mean, Dollar Tree store for $1.25 frame, you know, that's not a bad deal for stuff that you're just kind of playing around, experimenting with. You don't have to spend a lot of money for that. I know I'm laying it back on the side that I just painted, but I can always touch that up. I just wanted to get the front surface finished before I glue anything on it, because then I can't do anything about it. This might even take 3 coats. I'm not really sure. But the flowers are going to cover up almost all of it, too, so that might not be bad with 2. All right. Now, I didn't even give it a thought for the next one I was going to do. So let's see here. I need to get some clean water. If you hang on a minute, I'll get the clean water. And let's see. All right, I'll be right back. I should have said talk amongst yourselves while I was gone. If I'd have planned it better, I would have had all these things at my fingertips, but I didn't. All right. I think what I'll try next is one of those little dishes with the design on the back. Okay. All right. You guys still with me? All right. So I think I will do this one. I already did do a coat of the chalk paint. So this one's already dry. Now, this is, I don't know if you can see it in here, but I dented this clay with my nails, with my fingernails, when I was working with it. And I should have smoothed that out when the clay was still wet, but for whatever reason, I didn't. And now you can see them in there pretty good. So we'll see if we can cover that up with some of this napkin. That doesn't seem like it has any ply to it, but it does. Yeah, it certainly does. All right. So with something like this, you have to kind of plan a little bit of how you're going to put your design in here, because I'm going to piece it. So I think what I'll do is just wet around here. And tear this off. All the little pieces of paper. Okay, so now I'll peel off that. This is how I saw it done, was peeling it off after it's torn. I don't know. I didn't try it, but I'm thinking that maybe it's too fragile without that backing on it, that you'll just disintegrate the paper. I don't know. But, oh, I need to put a coat of that one, this one. Stick it to it. I hope those little finger marks don't show, nail marks. I have a feeling they might though. That's a bad thing about having long nails. Well, they're not as long as they have been, but they don't serve any purpose. Well, they mess things up is what they do when you're working with clay, for sure. Okay, so that gets the wrinkles out without destroying. Now you could leave it just like that, or you could edge it. I'm going to edge it specifically because I've got all those little dents in there. So I have to cut other little sections to apply. And you know where the napkins are creased, that really isn't an issue because those creases come out. They smooth out when you rub that rub the design with the tissue. I mean with the saran wrap. I forget sometimes when I'm doing this that I might not be in the frame all the way. So I apologize if I kind of go in and out. Oh, deciding. And if you go over a little, that's okay because we'll sand the excess off the edge if need be. Okay, take that off. A little baggy is probably easier. You can slip your fingers inside it, actually. If I could have had this all done ahead of time, that would have been nice, but then you wouldn't have been able to see how I did it either. So there's a good side and a bad side to that. It's a little fiddly business. Okay, so I'm sure you're getting the gist of this. And then you just cut all your little pieces that you want to include in here. I don't want any straight edges. Put that there. And then I know this is probably hard to watch because it's very slow going. And I apologize for that. But hopefully you'll get something out of it. This maybe was a little bit too ambitious for the time we have. I don't want paper in there. All right. I think we're almost done with this. This one was a little bit bigger of a project. I probably should not have picked this as an example for today, but I was, I guess, not really thinking time-wise what that would involve, because I do want to get to the picture frame. And see, this is larger than the space I have for it, but I'm going to sand that off, so that's not really a problem. Take this second ply off before I forget. One more piece. One more piece. Yep, that'll do it. All right. Where did I have this? I think it was this way. I'd say it pretty much covered up those fingernail marks on the clay. And go around the edge. Okay. So give it a coat all over. It's just a cute little dish, I think. Brush out those brush marks or brush strokes. Let that dry, and then I'll sand off the edge. Okay. Now, what I mean by that, I can show you on this one. That little handy dandy sander that I bought, I showed you last time, this little sander. You can just take this, and if there's any of that napkin hanging over the edge, that'll clean it all off. It'll just take that extra paper off. And if you wanted to go around the edge with the gold metallic marker, you could do that as well, which would look pretty nice. Actually, it would look really, really nice. All right, let's see here. Let's check these. This paint. Let's junk out of the way. All right. We're going to call this good because the flowers are going to cover up. And then I can always touch up the edges that the paint didn't cover too well. Okay, so I've got all my little flowers, and I also have a butterfly on this one. So I'm going to center this guy, and I'm using tacky glue, quick dry tacky glue, and probably the best thing that you could do is lay your flowers out, lay your pattern out, and then go from there. Okay. So let's say I want to do, because you've only got so many across that you can fit. And I think I'm going to incorporate some leaves in this one that I didn't put any on the other. So I could do all different sizes sizes of flowers. I might like a bigger one in the corner. Put a leaf there. I know I had some other leaves. I guess I don't. Yeah, I do, right here. And this guy's not painted. Poop. Thought I painted all of them. Oh well. I just love these. I think they're really cute. I think these would make nice gifts if you have grandkids or whatever. You might want to put a picture of them in it. Kids or grandkids, not necessarily grandkid age. I'm going to try to mix it up so that, excuse me, so that not all the flowers are the same size or the same, that you're giving a little variety there. I guess you can put them as close as you want, depending on how many flowers you have. I kind of like a lot of them on there. Decisions, decisions. Yeah, this is going to take quite a few. Okay. All right. So let's put this. Let's get this trashy thing off of here so you can see this better. All right. So I'm just going to glue them all down, and I want to look at it from above, to make sure that they're lined up. So then I would apply tacky glue on them. And let's see here. I don't have any of this guy in here. I already have one of him, so maybe I'll change that out. Okay. So I would glue these all down, like I said, and then I guess I won't do it yet. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. Then once they're all glued and the glue is dry, then I will use this product. This is called Art Alchemy Wax Matte Finish in the color of sage leaf green. Okay, and how I apply it, I'll show you that. I use one of these little dabber or daubers, whatever you want to call them, this little foamy yellow thing, and I will put some of that wax. I'll put some of that wax on my sheet here, my craft sheet. Just put a little bit on there, and then I'm just dabbing that wax, and I'll do that on a couple of pieces so that you can see how simple it is to do that. And then I would do that all the way around, and then just kind of pounce that however much you want, or little. On the edges, and a little bit in the centers too, like that. A little bit goes a long way. You don't want to apply it too heavy from the get-go, because it's harder to take it off if you even can. So it's best to just go little bits at a time. Unless you want it heavier, that's totally up to you. But it's very simple to do. It's a nice look. Here, you see the one that's already done. This is the same color. And then once it was all dry, then I sprayed it with the satin acrylic spray sealer, and it worked real well. This does have a little bit of an odor. It's not unpleasant. It's not like something, it's not anything really strong, but it does have a little bit of a fragrant odor to it. So you would just have your designs like that. This, let me come back to this here. I don't know if this is dry enough or not, but you see where I have the overhang of the paper on the napkin? I'm just going to take my sanding block and peel that off. Leaves a nice edge on your dish. Under normal circumstances, I would have waited till they were thoroughly dry, but just to speed things up a bit, I'm showing you now. And then you have your reverse side with the design on it, which I will paint. I think I will just do the white acrylic paint on the back of that. Whoop, more than I wanted. Okay. I really like having the texture on the back. It just makes it a little bit more finished. The natural finish of the clay is kind of a gray white. You could leave it like that in its natural state if you wanted to, but I think I like having a white look, and also I like to have it sealed. But I think I really do like that texture on the back there, like that. Okay, there's a few little straggly edges from the napkin that I will still sand off later, but that looks real nice, the the texture on there, I think. So we'll let that dry. And I think I've covered pretty much everything. In my thoughts for this demo, I thought that I would get the picture frame done, but it all takes time. It just all takes time, and the demo would have to be like another hour longer probably to get it all the way done. But at least you should be able to get the understanding of what I'm doing, and you can uh, tweak it however you want on your own. But at least this gives you some idea. And like I said in the beginning, I'm just learning all this stuff too, so I'm no authority on it, and maybe I've done a few things wrong. I don't know. Um, but so far, what I've done, pretty much I like. There's a few things that didn't really come out as well as I would have hoped, but you got to chalk it up to learning too. So that's just another rabbit hole to get down into if you care to. I think there's lots of potential. I love the picture frames, especially because I don't know. I just think they look really nice, and you put a special picture in there, and it would be a nice gift if nothing else. So okay, now let's see. Next time I think I'm going to do a bracelet and maybe earrings. I had posted a picture of this little bracelet on waxed cord, Brazilian waxed cord, on some beads that I got in Tucson that I really love. I wish I would have bought more. Um, if you guys like it, I could probably make some kits for it. Um, I also made myself a necklace, a couple of necklaces with these. I don't know if I would have enough for kits for necklaces as well, but probably at least necklace and earrings. I mean, bracelet and earrings. I might have enough beads for those. But, and of course, I've got it all twisted up. But I never worked with wax cord before. And I thought that's kind of neat with these beads. It's got wax on it, so you get your fingers a little bit waxy, but it's not a bad feeling. It's just different, you know. And but I think it's a pretty good look. So to recap, this was our little guy for today. We did him. I thought he came out cute, and our little bowl, a little dish, little trinket dish with the textured backside, and I'm going to paint the back of this guy with the complementing color of the dark purple leaves in there. Although that doesn't really matter so much. But oh, I was going to try to drill a hole as Gina had asked me, and I have to go to my flex shaft to do that. So let me have you look at this dirty mess. Well, it's not dirty; it's just a mess. Um, I'll grab a piece of clay. Okay, I'm going to grab a piece of clay over here. And lo and behold, I already have a drill bit in my flex shaft. So let's see. Okay. It works. Success. It's just a small hole. Um, but that's the size drill bit that I had in the flex shaft. Um, I would, if you're going to drill on this, or if you're sanding it, please wear a dust mask because it makes a lot of dust. Um, yeah, I mean, just be prepared for that because it does. Even when you're sanding around the edges, whenever you're sanding with the clay, it just releases all kinds of particles, and you don't want to be breathing that. Okay, just a little safety measure. But yeah, they could be drilled if I have a, well, I do have a bigger drill bit. I'll try that later on and maybe hang a ribbon through it, see how that works. As long as you don't get too close to the edge, I would say, and your clay's not too thin, I would say, yeah, you could definitely drill a hole in it. Okay. So, oh, good, Gina. I'm glad you saw it. Yeah, so it'll work. It would work to, you could make these as little ornaments. You could make them as little gift tags. They are clay. They are rather thin. I suppose if you drop them on the floor, they're going to crack or break. But you know, you just have to be aware of that and use them in situations where that might not happen. This was an impression uh, mat that I had. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I thought it was kind of cute. So there's potential there. All right, guys. Thanks for being with me today. I always am happy when you're here. And for those who came in late or whatever, you can always catch the replay on YouTube. Facebook is phasing these live demos or the videos off of our pages. It should be done sometime between June and July. You won't be able to replay anything from the group at that time. But like I've said before, I've moved all the demos, all the videos that I've made for the last 4 years or so. They're all on YouTube, and you can catch them on my channel there. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.